Chapter 3. An Instant Attraction. Arila was in the library when Xiaoliap approached her. Although she had never trained her innate telepathic abilities, she sensed his emotions and thoughts. Xiaoliap was furious, and this would lead to a tricky confrontation.
Arila, why did you reject me on Midsummer Eve?
Xiaoliap questioned angrily. I told you already, I felt sick and nauseous on that night, Arila lied.
Don't lie to me. I have trained my telepathic abilities. I can read your every thought,
Xiaoliap warned. Arila didn't like his tone. If he knew her every thought, why had he even bothered showing up to confront her?
Well, then, what do you want?
Arila snapped at Xiaoliap.
I want you to reconsider your rejection. Only a few days have passed since Midsummer. If you choose to be mine, we can lay as husband and wife, and I can support you. I am a successful professor at the Runesian Science Academy, so you'll have a good life, Xiaoliap replied dryly. You're not fooling anyone. You used your status at the academy to convince the Genome Masters to match your DNA with someone half your age. I want to choose my partner. Goodbye, Xiaoliap, Arila replied and turned around. This is not over yet, Arila. I will find something you did and use it to bring you down. I will use my position to crush you,
Xiaoliap threatened. Oh no, Xiaoliap is serious about his threat, Arila thought, and she panicked. She was of the servant class, and she had offended a successful man that the Genome Masters had appointed her to be one of his concubines. Although she hadn't broken any laws, she feared that her decision would come back to bite her. Leave her alone, Xiaoliap. Arila looked towards the stern yet calming voice. It belonged to a handsome fellow around her age. He had a chiseled physique and pastel blue skin, indicating that he was from the highest caste in the Zetan society. How she had wished that the Genome Masters had picked him as a partner for the midsummer holiday.
Don't involve yourself in this, Zelenko. The seers chose her to be my midsummer bride, and she dishonored me,
Xiaoliap replied. Yes, she was your chosen partner, but she was also free to abstain from having intercourse. The servant class are not our sex slaves, Zelenko replied.
Be careful, Zelenko. While your father's position might protect you, it won't protect this girl,
Xiaoliap threatened. After saying this, he clasped his temple, blasted Arila with a psionic blast, and left the library. Zelenko ran up to Arila and nudged her gently. He worried that Xiaoliap had murdered the poor girl, but he felt relieved as she opened her eyes and gasped. What happened? Xiaoliap blasted you with a psionic blast. He controlled his outburst. You should make a full recovery, Zelenko said, and wiped off Arila's nosebleed with a handkerchief. I don't understand. What happened, and who are you? Arila asked in confusion. Oh, I'm sorry, we haven't got introduced. I am Zelenko Siblaxom, son of Siblax Valzom, who is the mayor of Ronesia. Let me help you with your headache, Zelenko said, put his hand on Arila's head and used his psionic powers to heal her. Arila stared at Zelenko in amazement. A moment earlier, she had suffered from nauseating migraine, but after a touch from his hand, she felt better than ever. Wow, how did you do that? Arila asked. I used my innate psionic powers. All Zetans have them, Zelenko replied. No, we don't. I can't do what you did, Arila protested. That's because you never received the training to unlock your abilities. Every Zetan has telepathic, psionic, and prophetic powers. The powerful classes hide these abilities from common people like you, Zelenko revealed. So is this a conspiracy against the servant caste? Arila asked. No, we hide the powers for the greater good. Psionic powers are a double-edged sword. Imagine living your life knowing that someone could kill you from afar with the power of their mind if you let your guard down. Surely you would prefer ignorance? Zelenko asked rhetorically. No, I have been longing for knowledge all my life. That's why I'm at the library, Arila replied. Very well, then you'll be happy to know that our seers have foreseen that your progeny will lead our civilization to a new golden age. This prophecy is why Sialiap was so keen to marry and impregnate you, Selinko revealed. And what about you? Arila asked. Selinko clasped his cranium, leaned towards Arila and whispered, I have seen you in my visions. Together we will achieve something that many believe to be impossible. We will find other worlds that have Zetan crystals. Sentient beings like us inhabit these planets. Hearing Selinko's words filled Arila with a purpose. Just a few days ago, she had been a servant who had rejected the dreadful Sialiap's hand to marriage. Yet now she had a purpose, having learned about the world's secrets and encountered a handsome fellow with a prophetic vision. This vision was more significant than Setani and the ancient Zetan traditions. Swish! A silo bird flew towards Arila, landed on her hand, looked at her with its luminescent green eyes, and chirped a beautiful melody. Arila looked at the bird in amazement. How could this happen? Silo birds were rare and reclusive, yet the bird had chosen her. Behold the silo bird, the symbol of our city. This mystical bird has chosen you. This confirms that you are the chosen one, Selinko exclaimed. A group of bystanders approached them and marveled at the beautiful mystical bird and its rare appearance. Arila felt awkward with the sudden attention. She had been a humble servant for 200 years, and now her life had changed overnight. Come with me. I know a place where we can be alone, Selinko whispered into Arila's ears. He turned to the bystanders and spoke with a confident voice. Move along, citizens. There is nothing to see here. The bystanders dispersed, as it would seem, in a single wave. As the bystanders left, the silo bird took to the sky and Selinko led Arila to his tower overlooking Runesia. Arila saw the same silo bird later the same day when she came back to her senses, after waking up from the many waves of pure pleasure that she had experienced for the very first time. Arila had been longing for sex, but she had never imagined that it could be this amazing. While she had enjoyed Selinko's chiseled physique, glowing pastel blue skin, and the sweet smell of his masculinity, it faded in comparison to the spiritual journey they had embarked on together. They had been taken to other worlds through feelings of ecstasy and timelessness that felt like paradise. As Arila opened her eyes, she noticed that Selinko was drinking wine by a table. He wore an intricate outfit worthy of a high-ranking official. But how had this happened? They had been making love moments ago. An outfit like that would take time to put on. Arila decided to ask, How did you get dressed so quickly? We had fantastic sex just moments ago. Selinko put down his wine chalice, chuckled, and replied, The physical part of our lovemaking ended 3 hours ago. I don't understand. What about the many orgasms I just had? Arila asked. It was orgasms of the mind. I have trained myself to higher consciousness. I used my mind to take you on a journey to the most amazing places of our galaxy, including the most important place of them all, the Hawara Densi, the Divine Dimension, Selinko revealed. The Divine Dimension? What is that? Arila asked. It is the home of the creator of the universe, the True Maker. She has taken a form, a human form. This must mean something, Selinko revealed. Arila paused to think. She had heard about the True Maker in the past. Zetan law stated that the True Maker had imbued the Zetan crystals with her soul and that these crystals enabled advanced life on Zetani. However, she had never heard about humans before. What are humans? And why would True Maker take a human form? Arila asked. Humans are a semi-sentient species on a faraway planet called Earth. It is a beautiful planet which is almost as beautiful as Zetani. I would love to go there someday. As for Truemaker's actions, your guess is as good as mine, Selinko replied. Why haven't you travelled there? Arila asked. Selinko flipped a switch, and the entire Milky Way galaxy came up as a three-dimensional hologram, which covered the whole room. A tiny section was blue, while the rest was black, except for the white stars. This tiny segment is Zetan territory. It has a cross-section of 50 light-years from one end to the other, with Zetani in the middle. This is the only part of the Milky Way galaxy that we have explored. Earth is over there, 4,000 light-years away, Selinko said. So, is it out of reach? Arila asked. The scientific consensus would say so, but I have seen us visiting Earth in my visions, Selinko revealed. Bang! There was a loud bang as soldiers broke the door to Selinko's room and swarmed the residence. The last person to enter was Siblex Valzom, the Ronesian mayor. Siblex walked up to Selinko and scolded his son. My son, what is this insignificant servant doing here? Was a rumble in the hay with her worth risking my standing with the city council? She's more than a rumble in the hay. She's the prophesied mother of future chosen one, Selinko replied. The nonsense you tell yourself to justify your outrageous actions. You had no problem inserting your member into your fiancé 2 days ago, yet you couldn't stay away from Sialiap's property, Siblex scolded. That's different. I procreated with Shawana to fulfill my duty to the council. Arila is my destiny, Selinko replied. Furious with his son's defiance, Siblex rumbled, and his facial color shifted to a silvery dark blue color. He picked up a vase, slammed it into the wall, and exclaimed, That's enough! Guards, escort the servant out of this building! I will confront my son. The guards grabbed Arila and hurried to leave the room. The room got darker before the unavoidable mental confrontation between father and son.